Want me to start it?
No, I'll go for it. Round number 8 then. Here we today for this TCR series at Summit Point, which is as Charlie Lord goes drifting through in the background there. A free circuit, of course, on iRacing, not one that everyone drives very often. I once did a touring car, quite a few touring car races around here, and absolutely loved it, because, as you can see in the background, you can go side by side throughout this circuit. I am joined today, by, like last week, by Paulo. Hopefully today we will have a bit more luck with the stream, which I think we, looking at it, shall do, hopefully. Hello, hello.
Hello, everyone.
So, round number 8 out of the 10. We're almost there. We're almost at the end of the season. This is where it starts to become a crunch time, as they're just finishing up practice. Now they've got about 2 minutes to go before we get into 15 minutes worth of qualifying, and as you can see from practice already, they're all quite close and throwing it about, and yeah, this circuit flows really well. How have you driven this circuit much, Paulo?
Well, everyone has to start on this circuit eventually. But besides, you know, the rookie races that you gotta do with Formula V's and the, you know, Mazdas and even the Ferrari fix, no.
Not that much, really, other than when you have to in the juniors, the
Exactly.
rookies. It's like I call it the juniors, but yeah, in the rookie classes, but yeah, It's a fantastic little circuit. Good little circuit, to be honest. Lots and lots and lots of runoff. Some interesting corners. It's good. I think it's quite good, and it should suit these cars really well, I hope. So, but
Yes, this circuit is much more preferable than the other one, the Jefferson one.
yes, the Jefferson one. Yes. Yeah. No. That I've only driven that very handful of times, and that was in. It wasn't the Formula V because it was way before that, but it was in probably like the Skip Barber back in the day.
Yeah. This circuit is actually much better with the curbs and better flow of the track. You can actually see where the corner is going. The other one is not so fun.
No, yeah, well, no, not at all. I completely agree with you. Let me just make sure all the audio is fine. Yeah. Yes, I'll say it is. Well then, championship standings as we come in. Let's thought three of them are like nose to tail there in the background. Hopefully we have racing like that throughout the day. Of course, 2 races here today, 15 minutes each. Should get a decent amount of laps in as well. We head into the round with Marcelo leading the championship standings as we come into it by 16 points. Of course, a point for pole, so it could change during qualifying as that is extremely close racing between Charlie, I think, and Tony in the background, which is great to watch. And I think Arjan as well as practice comes to an end, and that is a photo finish in practice there. So Marcelo, yeah, leading the championship as we head in. Stefan, Stephen is in P2 just behind him. Brandon in P3, Robert in P4, and Neil in the P5 position, rounding out the top 5. Of course, more than 18 drivers have taken part during the season, but that is how the standings look heading into round number 8 today. As those standings apparently don't want to disappear. They will now. Right then, 15 minutes of qualifying then to come. We have, how many cars do we have in the end then? Quite a few, turns out, I'd say. Good. I'm not sure if it's the biggest grid we've had all season, but it might be up there today. A nice note to start ending the championship on. We do have one new driver, I believe, as well. Would you like to have a go at their name, or was
Did the first one?
Yeah.
That we see on the screen?
Yeah, bottom left, yeah.
Alright, let's try it. Probably Robert. There you go.
You're gonna rob it. You're not gonna. Let's say.
If I would go, I would be Robert Churnik.
Yes, that's definitely Robert Schulich, but we're. You see. Might not. Do you not see the far bottom left? No, you weren't actually. Maybe in the full screen, as the orange car there in the background just goes straight off the road. But Robert is the first one to put a time down, and immediately a few times are coming in now as they do the first laps times here. Costa in the chat saying he might not be able to get in the 108% rule. We'll see. Was not killed last time, sadly. Wasn't the best viewing experience. There's Brandon in the background, massive slide, well saved by him, but that's his lap over in the background. That was an absolutely massive sideways, and that corner's quite difficult to brake and turn in these cars, but it's all part of the fun as Costa does put a time in. Goes P7 for now. I'm not exactly certain. 108% rule. I don't know. Stuart's going to have fun working that out, but he should be alright as he goes deep in turn 1. Where's Marcelo on the road? I think he should be doing some good times. Current championship leader. Been there or thereabouts all season. Got a couple of wins under his name as well this season. As Sebastian goes P4. Steve Hayward has crossed the line, but I don't think he's put a time in, so I wonder how easy off-tracks are around here. I think it's quite easy to run a little bit wide on the turn 3, I think. And of course they're on the last corner as well, quite easy to probably pick one up as Marcelo goes across the line. And Kevin Burke has gone pole, and he's been beaten in the end by Marcelo, which by a bit of a gap there. And Stephen goes P2 and Peter goes P3, so times do fly in, but for a short period there. Kevin had put himself on provisional pole, and it's a nice time by him in the Audi. Charlie Lord should be coming across the line. Has gone across the line in P8. This name here, Paulo, do you want to give this a go? They're crossing the line now.
It's a bit blurry on my screen. Paulius Laurinanovici.
Okay, I'll go.
Sounds Greek.
Greek. You say it's Greek. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a they've got a European flag. It's a lovely livery there. The PSR TV. Love the orange. Brandon has gone purple first sector, but yellow middle. He's come across the line now-ish. Where did he go? He's got Neil's right up his backside. Brandon goes pole by shocking turn of events, less than a tenth, but then Tony goes pole by just over a tenth. So here we go. Time's coming in. It is changing. What we got? We got about 15 cars in the end, is what I think will be. So that is. I'm not sure if it's the biggest grid we've had, but it's definitely up there, which is nice to see.
Surprisingly, more people than the last rounds. Yes.
Yeah, I think it's good to see towards the end of the season that it's still becoming popular. Of course, still new drivers coming in as Charlie Lord does improve to P7. Costa is out on circuit as well, coming towards the end of their lap now. Comes across the line. Does he improve in P12? He improves massively on his time, but stays P12 at the moment. How do we say? We said Solris? Is that how we?
Solius?
Solius? Is that how you're saying it?
Yes.
Solius. Does not set a time. I'm terrible in English. Absolutely terrible. With names. Brandon has now done a purple middle sector. Can he take provisional pole back from Tony? Let's have a look. Sebastian goes P7. Brandon, surely with 2 purple sectors, does go pole. Will Tony manage to beat him? He's at the back of this train. Nils improves. Tony improves, but not enough to take pole. I wonder how big Slipstream is here. This is a big train here forming. There's Robert's got a little wide. Tony might have a... Yeah, Robert's going to duck out of the way. Yeah, it ducks out of the way for Tony. Doesn't hold him up on his lap. Just nice of him there. Even then, coming to the end of his lap, Peter's just got across the line to go P8. I think Stephen didn't improve. Or he did, so he did improve. He's in P3. Everybody constantly seeming to be improving here around the lap. Where is Sebastian in P10 at the moment? There he is. Got a nice gap back. So Neil's PC's being a pain. I had that trouble last week in your home race, sadly. But yeah, so I'm not sure if Neil will be joining us sadly this week. He was in a bit of practice earlier, but he's having PC issues all day. So basically not being able to get his car running. Sitting in, trying to be in the session. I'm not sure if he is in the he was in the session at one point. But he might not be able to take part. He's going to try his hardest, but he is in the chat at the moment. Be unfortunate not to have him. Because I do believe that Neil did take a win last time out in Not Kill. It is home circuit as well, so it's a shame for him not to join us. Marcelo there in P4. Improving once more.
Better mechanics.
Yeah, better mechanics. I know it feels to not be able to start a race. As Arjan well off the road, did have some personal best, but his laps won't count there in the end. Stays P14 for now because of that. Everybody is out there on the circuit as well, by the way. Absolutely everybody, just lap after lap after lap. They're just going for it. Oh, this section here is lovely.
They are all qualified so far. They are within the 108%. So
oh, lovely.
We will see a full grid of all the participants, except for New Ferrier, who unfortunately is having.
Yeah.
As Arjan goes extremely out of the track.
The stewards for today, Kevin Stam and Leon is our stewards for today.
So Kevin is saying to increase my volume apparently.
Give that a good go.
He loves hearing my lovely voice on a terrible microphone.
I'll turn you up a little bit more. I'll see if I can do anything on here as well. I've turned you up on there, so hopefully that will help a little bit more as...
I was watching the stream from YouTube instead of watching through your channel, sorry.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, I forgot. I forgot to pause it on the stream and just watch from the other side. Alright, continue. But at least the quality is fine now.
Yes, yes, compared to last week, it seems way, way better. Which is nice. I don't know what was going on last week. It's sad as well, because I was really looking forward to Knock Hill and having a watch, but yeah, wasn't meant to be, but at least we got it sorted for this week. Neil is, I think, possibly in a session, because his name's now popped up. He's not on track if he is. He's still going at it, and his mechanics, of course. Trying to get sorted. Robert now getting the slipstream from the back of Tony, and it's helped him improve. He stays P6, but he has helped improve. Costa down the inside, out of the way of Tony and Robert, which are both on laps. Marcelo comes to the end of another one for him, and doesn't improve. Peter's on one as well. So literally everyone continuing to go and go and go again. As Stephen in the background there has a bit of a off track, and Peter pulls over as well. So we'll probably get some more fuel. Everyone just try to put as many laps in as possible. Everyone keeps going and going and going. Arjan now manages to get a valid lap in and goes P10. And the times are quite close. Yes, the gap at the front, Brandon's got a nice lead of about 6/10 or less. Well, it's a bit less than that, but he has got a big gap, which not normally is the case. Normally it's less than a tenth for pole, but at the moment he does have a big gap. But of course we are missing the Gaff's not here, and of course at the moment Neil also not here. Two big rivals of Brandon not here at the moment, so that gap.
Neil is connected though, so he could still participate if it works this time.
His name's now popped up on my screen. He's in the pit lane and he's got out. Steve's gone P2. Big push from Steve Hayward there, probably on his last lap of fuel. Gets a time. We've still got another 5 minutes left to go in qualifying, so times can continue to come down.
Everyone now is on yellow, so probably should either restart, start from the pits again, do more laps. But it's interesting to see on touring cars, you improve as much laps as you can do, while on, open wheels, usually it's the first lap or second the most.
Yeah, it's just the thing. Everybody normally just does like 1 lap or 2, and touring cars, people are just going and going and going and going, which is how I'd like to do it as well. It's probably just because it suits me perfectly, down to a T. But yeah, absolutely, they're all running their fuel right down to the wire, really, aren't they? They're doing what? They've done 10 minutes worth of laps, so they've nearly done a race distance on fuel trying to get their best lap in. So
that's correct. It's almost like a mini race.
Yeah,
race.
Fully. Absolutely. There's an improvement there, but stays P13 at the moment, just behind Kevin. So we got a close field completely, as Brandon does do a purple last sector, but stays pole and doesn't improve. But yeah, the times are close for everybody here, which is fantastic. I have to say, absolutely everybody is. Now Tony's back behind Robert trying to get some slipstream, I think, there. Costa and Kevin are both improving on their laps. Costa does improve the 1 minute 19 flat. Kevin Burke out there improving as well. And Stephen Fry also improving as they all cross the line. They're not beating their lap times. They're all matching themselves. Charlie Lord in the background. Don't think he beat his lap time either. Yeah, so they're all right on the cusp, I think. Everyone's fine. We're getting to the point where everyone's finding their limit, really, here, it would seem. It is close throughout the field, which is good to know. As Brandon apparently is smashing the lap times, but we actually see we don't have his sectors on the screen. It says he's up by quite a bit, but whether that's just on his last lap or his actual PB, we'll see when he comes to the line. But it says that he's got 2 yellows, so I'd be surprised if he did improve, and he doesn't look like he has as he crosses the line. And he stood stay where he is, which is pole. Tony is improved in the middle sector as he comes to the line. And he, again, does not improve in this long train of cars going to turn 1. Nice that they've put cones out there on the right-hand side just to tell you when to brake. But any markables, just some cones.
It's actually pretty common on American tracks, especially.
Yeah.
Even Sebring has cones, for example.
Right.
Which is the track we will see on IMSA.
Yep, IMSA this week. On Friday at Sebring. Kevin now goes P11. It's really tight there between P10, P11, P12, and as well as P9. So it's quite cool to see the gaps in the field very tight as Arjan improves to P9 now. So he continues to go up the order.
Sector, first one.
Here we go, Brandon, purple first sector. He's pole at the moment, but he wants to stretch it even more. There's a minute left of qualifying. Neil says as soon as he can get his wheel to turn on, he'll be on the grid, but he's not able to get a time in qualifying. And Brandon pits. So he drifts into the pit lane, lovely. But he's not going to improve on his time. He stays pole for now, though. Can Tony beat him? This will be Tony's last lap. They're all yellow sectors from everybody. This is everybody's last gasp to get to the line to try and improve. It looks like nobody's improving. No, they are not. It seems like everybody's just stuck where they are. Kevin Burke's on a green middle on his lap, so maybe he comes around the line. He's got about 8 seconds to go to get to the line. Will he improve in P11? It's close at the back there. A 10th would put him up, and he doesn't improve. Charlie Lord crosses the line right at the end. He doesn't improve either. And we will have 14 cars, plus maybe Neil if he can get his equipment working, starting from the back.
Apparently not, he can't. It's just too late. He said as soon as he turns his wheel on, it's something that, yeah, it completely takes him out of the race. So, unfortunately, that's it for Neil.
That's a shame, that. That's a big
Where
shame.
was he on the championships too?
Oh, Neil, I'd have to have a look, but which I will in a minute. I'll bump you up to 200, as I've been told to.
He's in 5th. He is 15 points behind Marcelo.
Ooh.
It's going to be a dent on his points, unfortunately, but hopefully he can come back on the next time.
Hopefully so. I will get the audio for the sound done for at least the next race, but for now, the grid is as follows. Brandon will start pole, Steve P2, Tony P3, Stephen P4, Marcelo P5, Robert P6, Sebastian P7, P8 for Niels, P9 for Arjan, P10 for Peter, P11 will go the way of Kevin Burke, P12 Charlie Lord, Solis P13, P14 for Costa. They will line up for this one. And here we go then. Race number 1 of round 8.
Someone jumped to start.
One jumped. Be unfortunate for them if they have, as the best start probably goes to Brandon. There's a little bit of movement in the background. Arjan has a little bit of contact, I think, with Niels in the background as they go towards turn number 1 for the first time. Lots of movement, hits the heavy brake zone. 2x2 by everybody. Is everybody fine through turn 1? I'd say they are.
It's Peter Greenmoon. He got a black flag for jumping the start, so he has to go to the pits.
Oh, that's a massive shame. That is an absolute massive shame for him. Not sure how he's quite done that. Maybe he didn't have his handbrake on. That's a big shame. So I guess that would be a drive-through and they're letting back out maybe, or is that completely race over, I wonder?
It's a drive-through. He can still return since anything can happen in a 15-minute race. But we'll see if he can recover from that. He started in P10.
That's a shame. Started P10, was he now P9? So that's unfortunate for him. Brandon's got a bit of a gap as they all come through lap number 1. Like a worm as they feed their way through. Arjan there looks to be the one on the back of Peter, but Peter will go into the pit lane. No, he doesn't this time round, so unless he's got a couple laps to serve it, maybe.
Yes, 3 laps.
3 laps to serve it.
3 laps.
He might end up using all of them as he stays out for now. Will Tony have a look on Steve as they hold the brake? Look how close everybody is. I think he does. Steve gives a little nudge to Tony there, and Marcelo gives him one as well, but Everybody gets away with it fine. That's touring cars. Maybe there's a run for Robert on Marcelo. Marcelo will defend. This is for P5. And Robert, little bit of grass, and there's a drift in front. And that's Steve. He's had a big drift in front of everybody. And they have all passed him and avoided. Even Sebastian has managed to get his way through. So Steve from P3, or sorry, P2, down to P7. And that was a mistake on his own. Not the first time he's done that this season, actually. He was leading in Silverstone in the reverse grid race and had the similar thing, dropped it into turn 1, and Neil has jumped to the pit, so he got it working at least. He might be here for race 2. So he might even have got out for race 1 here, just at the very, very, very back. We'll have a look at that, but look at this train of cars there, absolutely everywhere, and looks like to the right there in the background, I think Peter will be going into the pits this time, and he does. Peter goes into the pits to serve his jump start, which is unfortunate for him. And that will drop him down a few places. Once again then, into turn number 1. Very heavy braking zone, and Marcelo has gone deep there. Will Robert get him? No, he won't. It's to stay behind for now. Good racing by all. The light shines off their cars as Costa has been passed in the background. I think Costa has gone off the road. Turn 1 he has. He's dropped down now to P13. Unfortunate for him. And he flashes the lights as well. Which is interesting. I wonder if there was any contact as Niels is on the back of Arjan side by side. Round the outside through here will be a bit difficult, and he has managed to do it. Through he goes. Kevin Burke there, having a good race. I think he's survived that. Just behind Arjan. They're close in the time, so that should be a race throughout these 15 minutes. Absolutely battles everywhere as always. We'll have a little look quickly at what happens to Costa, shall we, on that last lap and why he was off the road. So this is turn 1, the heavy braking zone, and he's just gonna understeer wide. Well, it's gonna take a while to get back on the road there. Eventually he does. Easily done. How close then is Stephen to the back of Tony? Quite close. Will he launch up the inside? No. Stays there for now. Will Steve do anything in the background behind Sebastian? Goes to the outside. There's also another battle behind with Niels and Arjan. We'll see if this one continues for now. Steve's got a nose up the inside of Sebastian there. He's now got a car up the inside of Sebastian. He'll be there. And through he goes. Good move there by Steve to get another place back as Niels stays ahead of Arjan for P9 in the background as well. Close racing. As expected here. It's not a very flat circuit, is it really? Look at the way the corners work. It's quite a bumpy one. Curbs.
Yes, it even has cameras from side to side.
Yes. Absolutely lovely, isn't it?
Especially on this corner, it's goes to the how do I say it? Campers out.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It sort of goes over a little lump mid-corner, and it's quite nice. I actually like one of the best of the free circuits. I think this one and Lime Rock Park quite good. I thoroughly enjoy Lime Rock. I think this one I've driven less than Lime Rock, but it's as good as Stephen up the inside of Tony into the braking zone. Turn 1, they're close. They give racing room. It's still very close on the exit, and it's well done by the two of them, and it stays as it was. This is for P2 then. Stephen, of course, ahead of Marcelo, which he is fighting in the championship for, so this is good at the moment, but he will want another place. He will want more points than this. Brandon, of course, trying to chase them down, currently in P3 in the championship. Doing a good job at the moment of trying to catch back up with currently leading. Got the point pass for pole, point for fast lap at the moment, and leading most laps, so he'll be getting all the bonus points as it stands. 6 minutes into the race. It says that Charlie Lord went off the road. He is currently P8. We'll stay with this now. I don't think he lost any positions from it. Neil is out on the road, so he is trying to get... I think there's a certain distance you have to have, as Robert goes a little wide, to get points, I believe. I'm not sure what it is. I don't know how many laps he has to do or percentage of the race, but he has to do a certain amount to get the points. So he'll try and pick up some...
80%.
80%. I wonder, he's 3 laps down. Will he get the 80%, do you reckon? Or is that going to...
On this track, I am not sure. I think you do about 13 laps. So he has to do about 9.
Okay, yeah, it reckons, yeah, about 13. So he needs to get 9 in to be able to get the points for 15th place. And after the day he's had so far, I think that would be a good return if he managed to do so. We're currently watching the battle for second between Tony, Stephen, and Marcelo. Look at the amount of curb Stephen used there. There's a run for Marcelo on the gravel a little bit, but don't worry about it. Good run, good run. He's not going to go around the outside of there, is he? He has a think about it. It's a very difficult corner, that. It's bouncy, it's big curb, it's braking and turning in these cars. It's not the easiest thing in the world. The rear will get loose on you. Kevin managed to pass Arjan as well for P10. We're quickly, while we're around this part of the circuit, have a look at that. How did Kevin get past Arjan? That's down the main straight. And he must have got a better run out of the last turn, as down the straight goes Kevin. And up into P10.
Interesting to see Neil Ferrier actually on the road, because this is just a practice for him, if anything.
Yeah, it's his qualifying, really, isn't it? It's trying to get 15 minutes worth of running in there, and he apparently has gone off the road, but he spent 2 minutes, nearly 3 minutes in the pits trying to sort out whatever the issue was, so well done for him, and of course everybody who's mechanics, quote unquote, to get sorted and get in the race. Of course, he could try and catch Peter, but that would be a tough ask because he'd have to unlap himself, and that would be very difficult to do. Of course, top 8 reverse from this race for race number 2, and at the moment that means Charlie Lord would be on pole for race 2. So that's how that sits at the moment. Of course, race 2 is normally the chaotic one, but at the moment, look how close the top 2nd, 3rd, and 4th are at the moment. Very close, and of course, Robert behind has Steve on his coattails as well. So good racing here. There are places to pass around here. If there is another season of touring cars, I think this track at the moment, I say think, I'm the one that makes the calendar, it's on the cusp of being involved or not being involved, so we'll see how today goes. But at the moment, it looks like it's giving us some close racing. Brandon at the front has gone, but the rest of the field, nose to tail.
He really dominates the races in touring car, Brandon.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And there we go, Tony then, realising he may not have had a good run as Stephen, and defends the inside line, forces Stephen to go round the outside. Him and Marcelo both 3/10 quicker than Tony on that lap there. They touched doors in the braking zone, but that's fine. He could still go around his outside. It might give Marcelo a run at him. It does give him a run. It's fair racing. They touched door to door in the braking, but I think that was fine. They shouldn't really have any words as around the outside. I think Steve's just gone in the background of Robert. Marcelo's trying to go around the outside of Stephen. They touch doors, but that's fine. Marcelo the inside for the next corner. They're side by side in the background as well between Robert and Steve, but this one is the one we're watching, and Stephen around the outside stays in P3, and behind Robert stays ahead of Steve as well. So they're racing for P3 and P5 here, side by side for a good 2 to 3 corners, and clean racing as they stay as they are. Niels has gone off the road in P9, and he's lost a chunk of time, which is unfortunate for Niels, and he has been passed by a few cars. Let's have a look at what Niels has done. It's on the difficult corner, isn't it? Has he braked too late? Oh, there's a long way back to the track there. Oh, that's going to feel like an eternity. He does eventually return without any damage, but a loss of a couple of places down to P11 now. As this battle for P2 respectively continues. For now, it will stay as they are, as no one's close really to have an attack. That cost them over a second, that did, that last lap of battling to the leader.
Yes, it always gives an advantage to the leader when others are fighting behind them. Just like when Brandon was on the sprint race of last week, he couldn't get the leader because he was constantly fighting with others. Always a risk of trying to fight others, but these guys have to win it. You know, have to be ahead of the others because of the extra points.
Yeah, extra points.
But being behind is not being behind on the sprint race is not bad because of the grip that's gonna change on the feature race.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah, true. They'll be ahead on the start for the next one as it stands. A crash incident between cars 31 and 17, which is Steve and Robert, which we saw side by side in the background on the last lap, is under investigation. Not actually saw what happened between those two. They're both on the road and still as they were. A good run here for Steve, and he needs the inside. Tony will cover him. So I'm not sure what incident those two had. I wonder if they touched doors as well. That could be it. They're side by side in the background again. But here we go for P2. It's Stephen versus Tony into the braking zone. And it's going to be difficult for Stephen to go all the way around his outside. He's going to give it a go. They slightly touch, I think, maybe. But as they were last time, they're going to have to feed back in. And this time he keeps the cover on Marcelo and stays as they were. Behind, Steve and Robert continue to fight for P4. Steve now to the outside. And he's not able to get through. A little bit of gravel thrown up by the cars ahead, but not sure. Here we go. Steve now up the inside maybe of Robert. He's going to launch it. No, he backs out of that one. And that's the smart decision to do. They stay as they are. Absolutely nose to tail here. Still for P2. In the same cars, these two in second and third. Marcelo in the different Hyundai. It's a mix of cars, of course. We've still got a couple of Audis in here as well. A few Hondas as well. It's good to see all of the touring cars being used. Well, that was a little look from Steve there. I think it might actually end up compromising a little bit. We'll see. A couple of minutes left of the race. About 3 minutes to go. Well, it's going to be about 2 now, isn't it? So a couple laps maybe left for Steven to try and pass Tony. So a reprimand for car 17 changing direction under the braking. So that's Robert defending from Steve. So that's what's happened there. Just been warned about it, which is probably a smart move to warn him first before taking any action. As Steve's still right behind Robert. And he's almost pushing him on the exit of the corner. He's there. He's on his outside. Will he be able to do anything? I think Costa's crashed, sadly, in the background. So we'll have a little look at it. And that's round the outside from Steve. That's a fantastic move if he manages to make it. And he has made it. And that is an absolutely brilliant move.
That was really nice.
That was lovely. It's taken him a lot of the race to get back up ahead. But he's now into P5. And that is... brilliant. Brilliant race by the two of them there. Robert to give him the room to allow him to give it an attempt. Absolutely brilliant. Let's have a little look at what has ended up happening to Costa, maybe. Let's have a little look. This is what's happened to Costa. He's ended up going back to the pits. Has he gone too far off the road to never return? Oh, he's gonna find that. Yeah, that's a heavy one. That's probably broken the front right, and that's unfortunate for him. It's probably going to drive shaft, that one. What lap are we on now? Possibly the final. Depends when the leader crossed the line. A little bit of pushing.
With an 8-second lead. Amazing.
I think this will be the final one, to be honest. I think this is the final lap. They are pushing each other here for P2. Steve is not that car in the background. That's Peter after serving his drive-through. So yeah, Brandon well out ahead. But this is it. It's do or die now. For these podium positions in race number 1, I'd say this is the final. It's guaranteed to be the final now, as we've only got 10 seconds left on the clock. Absolutely everybody's sending it here for second place. At the moment, Charlie Lord has passed Sebastian at some point. I think Sebastian went off the road. He's now actually going to be pole for race number 2, so that's changed as well in the last couple of laps. But yeah, Brandon's got a massive lead. It's nearly 9 seconds. We're watching the battle for second though. Will Stephen have a little bit of a lunge in the last corner? He's going to think about it, but surely not.
It's the last lap, yes.
It is. Brandon wins race number 1. But the important question is, does Tony get second? Tony will get second. Stephen will get third. Marcelo will get fourth. It was a great battle, closely held. Steve takes fifth. Sixth for Robert. Seventh in the end for Charlie, which got Sebastian, because Sebastian went off the road on the second to last lap, so Sebastian will be on pole, and that's what he did. Where is he there? He's gone...
First corner.
He's first corner. Has he just gone absolutely deep on his own? Oh, what's he done there? He's moved to defend from Charlie. He's caught the inside grass and gone straight off the road. Fascinating. A few other cars went off on that last lap as well. It's going to be into the left-hander. Oh, we've sadly... Are we going to warm up? We are going to warm up, luckily. So we can...
Interesting to see Neil didn't get a lap, so he did 80% of the race.
He
will
also
get the points.
He also apparently passed Costa, I believe.
No, he didn't, because Costa was already ahead.
Yes, he did. He said it did on my thing, but on the results he didn't. So he stays P3 P15, but he will get points. He gets 16 points for P15, so not all is lost. He's managed to get some points after a dreadful build-up for the race, but Brandon, of course, taking the win. Tony P2, Stephen P3, P4 for Marcelo, and the rest of the field. So Sebastian in P8 there will start on pole for this one. Joel Lord will start second and third for Robert. So that is the reverse grid. Kevin Burke missing out and finishing P9 will stay P9 for the reverse grid race. Always chaotic reverse grid race. Well done, Neil, for getting some points, though. Be happy with that. Warm up apparently already finished, so here we go then. This is the grid then. That's the change around. Sebastian starting on pole. P2 for Charlie Lord, P3 for Robert, P4 for Steve, Marcelo P5, P6 for Stephen, P7 for Tony, and P8 for Brandon. That is how they are reversed. Kevin will start P9, Arjan P10. So that's how they reverse, as we can see them there in the background. I can see Kevin's down there, P16 in the F3, almost like a medical car there. We'll see how this one goes, though. Who gets the best start? Did Sebastian move? He's moved twice. Sebastian! He's done it. He's moved twice, and that's that. Everyone's got to go around him. Oh, no. He was on pole, but it doesn't matter now. Absolutely everybody just trying to avoid him. Down into turn one. Flag. Oh, and he moved twice, did you? Oh, it's unfortunate for him. Oh, everybody just about coming through turn one. That leaves Charlie Lord in the lead of the race. Sebastian started on pole. He's down to P9. He's got a driver as well. That's the second time we've seen it today. It's only the second time we've seen it all season happen. So look how close everybody is. Bumper to bumper through that corner. Marcelo trying to find a way through past Steve already. Everybody's moving about everywhere. Charlie Lord is the current leader. Started P2. But after the pole man decided, oh, he just couldn't keep the car stopped, could he? He jumped twice. Absolutely crazy start to this race. Cars absolutely everywhere here. Look at the train of them coming through. Charlie Lord just ahead. Absolutely everybody buying at his heels. Oh, it's great places to be made. Brandon has managed to pass Tony and Steven, so he's got a good start. And that's for the lead. Robert up the inside of Charlie for the lead. Will Charlie not get to the line first? We'll get a point for leading the lap, and Steve's coming through as well. Robert will get the extra point for leading a lap. Steve's through. Charlie's going to get pushed here by Brandon as well. Marcelo's going to try and get through. Oh, there's cars everywhere. Charlie's trying to find a way back past Steve, who is going to be in the lead by turn one. It's Robert, then it's Steve, then Charlie. They're 2x2x2. Oh, it's extremely close. Who gets a good run? Oh, they're all sort of trading paintwork here. Oh, Brandon trying to pass Steve on the inside. There's just not enough room. Charlie now up the inside of Robert. Brakes a little bit early. Steve having... Oh, it's cars everywhere. Door to door. Everybody just giving enough room. They're trying their hardest. And look at this. Now this is a reverse grid race. Up the curb goes Marcelo. He defends everybody. Tony trying to go round the outside of Brandon here. I think he might have him. He's going to have the inside for the next corner. He might just have him. And it looks like he does. So Tony up to P5. Arjan in the background trying to get past Steven. They're door to door as well. I think Steven's just going to come out in front for P7. He's not. Arjan will take the place into P7. Sebastian and Niels are battling as well, but Sebastian will have to pit at some point for his drive through. Absolutely neck and neck all down the field, and well off the road goes Arjan. He's gone well off the road. Everyone's going to be careful as he returns. Absolutely safely, that's fine. Steve trying to pass Charlie Lord now for P2. Cars everywhere. Tony looking at the inside of Marcelo. Not able to do anything. Charlie's gone deep. Charlie, no. He's going to lose a place to Marcelo. Brandon can't do anything. He's going to push him to go faster. He's almost boxed in. Oh, no, Charlie's got to cross. Tony was there. That's unfortunate for Tony. Tony's off the road. Mind the tree. Mind everybody who comes back. Charlie's out of this one. Looks like Charlie may have cut across Tony, I think, there. I think that the stewards thing didn't update quick enough there, but we understand that the incident definitely will be looked at. That's massively unfortunate. I don't know if Charlie realised there was a car to his right, but there was a car in front of him, a car behind him. So first and second from this reverse grid are both realistically out of this race now. And Marcelo all over the grass, but returns. Look at the time.
Which Sebastian has to come on this lap, otherwise he will be disqualified. And he's in.
Steve's in as well. Why is Steve in? Steve's in the pits, I think.
Oh, someone just flew off? No. Oh, what is that?
Something's happened to Steve. He's absolutely disappeared from P2. Marcelo is getting passed now by Brandon.
That was a big crash.
We're going to have
to see the replay.
Steven, there's a big...
It was weird.
Let's have a look. Sebastian goes into the pits. Oh, no!
Oh! That's what happened.
Sebastian, too fast to the pits. Takes out Stephen Fry. Ah, it's awful.
They got the mistake. That's a mistake.
That's awful for Stephen Fry's championship as well. He's now going to be losing big points to Marcelo, which is in P3 at the moment. So that's big. Lots of cars now out of this one. Tony, Steve, I don't know where he disappeared to. I think he may have disconnected, sadly, running P2 in the race. And I think he sadly can't catch a break and has disconnected from the race. As we've got Brandon now trying to get Robert the lead. Not able to do so yet. Neil, we haven't mentioned him yet. He's in P6, but here we go then. For the lead. Brandon up the inside of Robert.
Brandon already in the lead.
Yeah, he's got him before the corner. As Tony comes out the pits now to rejoin, as you saw in the background, Brandon and co were using him as some slipstream. As Marcelo's going to go up the inside of Robert as well and try and follow Brandon through here as Kevin and Neil are battling for P5. So that's what's happening in the background. Neil here, though, up the inside of Marcelo and will stay there for now and does. But Neil trying to pass Kevin up the inside. He goes. Not able to do it just yet. Might get a better exit. Have to go with a long way round if they've got Peter Greenwood behind them as well. Round the outside then goes Neil on Kevin. Can he get it done? Kevin's drifting. Oh, can he get it stopped in time? He can. And it's 10-second post-ref penalty for car 71, which will be Charlie Lord with the incident with Tony, which I think is probably fair in the grand scheme of things. Tony has rejoined in P11 and Charlie has returned to the track in P12, but 10 seconds will be added to Charlie's race. Cars going off everywhere. Arjan apparently has gone off as well. There's just chaos as always in the reverse grid. We've only had 6 minutes of it so far. And it's still...
No, Brandon, because he's on the lead, he's going to get clear times all the time now. He's going to distance himself from everyone else.
Absolutely, and the battle for second now rages on between Robert and Marcelo.
Yes. Because these two are now fighting with each other, they will not, fortunately, catch Brandon. They will lose each other.
Well, that's extremely close. Don't know if they touched there or not, but it was extremely close. It's good racing then. Continue on as they were. Marcelo's got to try to find a way past Robert. Robert has had a good, strong end to this season, I must say. Continuing to improve each week, so... Getting podiums isn't out of his depth, to be fair, at the end of the season. They definitely touched there, but it's fine. Everybody stays as they were. Neil's there in P4 and Neil in P5. Peter's on the back of Kevin for P6. Costa on the back of Arjan for P8. So, all around as Marcelo moving around a lot, trying to find a way through as Neil apparently went off the road, as I mentioned his name, which is unfortunate in P5 there. Can Marcelo try and get a run this time by? I don't think he can. Sebastian hasn't returned to the track, and no has Steven, so that's unfortunate for those two. It says Marcelo's got him before the corner, but Robert's going to be there in the braking zone, so it's going to be the long way round for Marcelo. He's trying to cut back here, isn't he? Oh, that's lovely. He's good. Oh, it's lovely, and he's done it.
The good old switcheroo.
Oh, it worked perfectly. What a move. Brilliantly done. And, oh, I was about to say Robert disappears, but rejoins. And he's going to have to settle that for P3. It's a good move. Nice thinking there by Marcelo as Arjan goes off the road and allows Costa through. So let's have a little look. It doesn't say he went off the road. So did he just get passed by Costa here? He's gonna. Oh, he does just about go off the road, and Costa goes through up into P8. I think he went off again since then as well. So Arjan on a few instances. Car 38 in 14. That's Neil and Kevin that had incident apparently. Not sure exactly what happened between those two. And the stewards are looking at it. Apparently so. So there's a battle now for P4 between Niels and Neil. Got the same sort of name, same sort of livery as well. Different cars though. Both Hyundais, but different cars. As up the inside goes Neil. He may have missed qualifying. He may have missed a lot of race 1. Still finished, but at the moment up into P4. Can he try and get a podium position at the end of this one? 6 minutes, 5 seconds. Possible? A little bit of a exact line I take that is dropping a wheel in the gravel. So Peter versus Kevin continues now for P6. Good fight for these two. Good positions for these two as well. As they throw the cars through that lovely corner. Difficult corner, but lovely. This is the closest battle now on the circuit. 5 minutes to go in the reverse grid race. These two started, I think, around, well, Kevin started at least P9, so good drive to get up to P6. Of course, other people having a few incidents around him, but good to keep his nose clean and be in it at the moment. Gaps at the front starting to get a little bit bigger. We're stay on whether Neil can catch up to Robert. They're matching each other in lap time, so it'll be quite difficult for Neil to do so. But now, this is the battle for now. Kevin to try and stay ahead of Peter.
I mean, Neil has a big mission to reduce 5 seconds in 5 minutes, so...
Yeah, it's a big ask. Big ask.
Yes. He should be at least happy from where he started to be, you know, P4. It's not a podium on this race, but it's still a pretty high position. The most positions gained even on this race.
So Steve was running P2 when CDCD, there you go, went down. Yeah, that's what it says. DCD net went down. So he was running P2, okay. And that's what's happened there. That's massively unfortunate for him, being in a podium position for that to happen. He had some good pace today as well. Qualified P2 in qualifying, so had some good pace. Did have a mistake in race 1, which dropped him out of the top 3, but yeah, was running well in the reverse grid for that to happen, which is unfortunate. Arjan now 4 tenths behind Costa. As off the road goes Peter. I was just about to go off him. He's got off the road. He's managed to save it. He's all good. He's still pointing in the right direction. Now Arjan, which had a little bit of an excursion earlier, now trying to catch up to the back of Costa. With 3 minutes to go, can he get that P8? Now, Costa got Arjan after Arjan went deep. Will Costa now do the reverse? That is the question. I don't know about you, but I've thoroughly enjoyed the Touring Car Series this season. Absolutely, it's the highlight of the week for me, Tuesdays. It's my day off, and I know that in the evening I get to watch this. So, honestly, I've had a great 8 weeks of this. It's been very enjoyable.
As I said, especially the cars, and even in the racing environment. Yes, it looks really good on the replays.
Oh, it's deep from Costa. We've got a battle on our hands. Arjan trying the little bit of the switcheroo that we saw earlier, but the corner sadly wasn't as tight as he wanted it to be. But he has to stay.
No space in the inside.
Yeah, it was a massive curve to go over there if he was going to try that, but he might have a run. 2 minutes to get through. Costa's defending for his life here for P8. He's had to switch cars mid-season. He had to lose 2 weeks of points to do it. That is the forfeit if you want to try and switch cars. The forfeit is 2 rounds of points to try and stop people from doing it. There's the switch. Arjan to the outside. Will he get P8? It's all about the braking zone now. It's Arjan or is it Costa as they hit the brakes? All basically at the same time. Isn't that lovely to see? And it's understeer from Costa. He's still there. Is Arjan. If he can hang it around the outside, he'll have the inside for the next corner. We've seen people go side by side through here. Arjan gets the move done before the corner and is up into P8.
Fantastic. That was his opportunity and he nailed it.
That's what we like. That is what we like to see. And he's actually, Arjan's got a little, I thought he went a little deep that time around. As I say, Costa's going to try and go back at him. That fight may not be over for P8. With a minute to go. Neil has got the gap, by the way, down to 3 seconds from 5. He's running out of, no, he's running out of time, but he has tried his hardest there to try and get third.
For sure. He was probably the second fastest driver on the race, but it's still not going to be enough.
No, but fun.
But yeah, this series...
Oh, Costa is well off. Oh.
Drifting on the sand, but he's back. But the fun about these cars is, yeah, you can go side by side, you know, hit a bit on the bodywork and still be fine to drive.
Yeah.
One against each other. The racing is pretty packed, and because you have short races, 15-minute races, and then you got the reverse grid on the second race, it always makes room for some action, which I did need to see. To watch, especially, it's more exciting. Just because the cars are slow doesn't mean that the racing is fun.
Exactly, yeah, absolutely. It might be a bit slower, but they're hard to drive, and it also makes for close racing because they're a little bit slower and everyone's a bit more compact, as Brandon will take 2 from 2 here at round number 8. This time it's only 6 seconds. Marcelo takes P2. He'll be happy with that. Robert will take P3. He did lead a few laps as well, so he takes some extra points. P4 for Neil. What a day he's had. Bagging some good points in the end. P5 for Niels. It's a good result for him. Kevin, a fantastic result for him in P6. And a great result for Peter in P7 as well. They come across the line, only 3 temps between them. Arjan deserves it in the end. He's going to get P8. Tony will get a P11 there after, well, an incident which he had nothing really to do with. He was just on his line, and that was unfortunate for him. P11 for him. P9 for Costa in the end. And a good debut is rounded off from a top 10 finish in the end. And I think Brandon has decided now to go off the road and maybe do some donuts. I'm not quite sure if that's or not. He's going
donuts with these cars.
Look at that. Did you well? That was awesome. Reverse and spin it around.
Yeah. A bit hard to do, you know, donuts with a front wheel driving car, but he made it work. In a way.
He just shoved it in reverse. It's fine. Do it that way. So Brandon takes 2 from 2. Pole position as well. He doesn't get all of the bonus points because he didn't lead every lap in the second race, but he'll take quite a bit of them. So he'd be happy with that. Marcelo takes P2, Robert P3, a nice podium again for him. Neil, in the end, managed to bring it back to P4. Neil's P5, P6 for Kevin, P8, 7 for Peter, P8 for Arjan, P9 for Costa in the end. And look at that. That is what I like Brandon for doing. He parked it on start line. Lovely. What we like to see. Not sure exactly what that would do to the championship standings, but it will help Brandon massively try and catch back up with the last 2 rounds coming up in the next 2 weeks. What we got? We got round number 9 next week. Where are we for that one? That one is... Let's have a little look, shall we? I should know it off by heart, but I don't. It's Watkins Glen next week. I think we just had the IndyCars there on Monday.
Yes.
So we'll be back there for some touring car action this time now. on the cup.
Is it a full circuit or
It's the cup layout, so yes, I think that.
without the boot then? Okay, it's much better without the boot for touring cars because it basically means it's more straight. More straight means everyone's always packed together.
So the cup is the short one, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So there we go. That's gonna be. Yeah, I think I saw actually. I saw a league race do it on the cup layout, and yeah, it was crazy. So maybe some fireworks next week. It is the penultimate round, but yeah, Watkins Glen at the cup is next week, and then the finale is at the Grand Prix circuit of Brands Hatch. We started on the Indy, we'll finish on the Grand Prix. Should be a nice way to round out at a proper touring car circuit. Yeah, some good racing coming up in the next couple of weeks. I'm not sure. Where did you say we were again for IMSA? It was off the top of my head.
Sebring.
There it is, Sebring. Lovely. And then we finished at Silverstone, don't we? So it's only a couple weeks left of each series now. But yeah, it's coming to the end of the season. I don't think we know who's going to win any of the championships in IndyCar, LMP2, GT3, and touring cars. I think they're all probably going to go down to the wire, which is absolutely fantastic. Of course, do look out for the information coming out. Well, I'm not sure when, but soon enough, because we've only got 2 weeks worth of racing left. I'm sure next year's or next season's plans will be coming up soon. It would probably be next year's, wouldn't it? Because when does the season finish? 2 weeks, a couple weeks, isn't it? So
next week is penultimate, and the next week afterwards is the last one.
Yeah, and then so next season's worth of racing will probably end up starting in the New Year's, but I'm sure we'll be able to tell you soon enough what's coming up. But yeah, absolutely fantastic racing. I hope Touring Cars gets renewed for another season. The calendar will be slightly different if it does, but maybe some point stays, maybe it doesn't. But it was great racing today. Let's have a look, see if we do have anybody for some interviews. We can grab Brandon, and we could also grab Neil afterwards. So we'll just pull Brandon in and ask how his weekend. I was gonna say weekend went. How his day went. Have a look. Brandon, you managed to take both the wins today. So normal schedule resumed, really, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know about that, but yeah, it's really great to get the wins there. That was a lot of fun, especially in the second race. It was basically the double file, like 3 rows back. That was pretty neat. So yeah, Summit Point's a great track. Always love coming here, and yeah, good to be back. Had a I guess yeah, so yeah, had that accident at Olton Park, and then came close there at Knock Hill there, but yeah, good to be back on top, and yeah, it feels good.
Yeah, it's well done. So in the championship standings, I'm not sure what this does exactly, but it puts you back into the fight, I'd say, with 2 rounds to go.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure what the point situation was like there. I know we had a couple absentees, and so yeah, I'm not sure how that's gonna play out, but I'm just gonna keep racing like I have been, and see if we can get that championship. I'm not sure what I have to do, or like what has to happen to anybody else or anything, but I'll just keep going. I'll do my best, and see how it goes there, because yeah, it's been a really great season, and yeah, to cap it off with a championship, that'd be really.
Next week being Watkins Glen, the cup layout. What are you expecting there?
Okay, the cup layout, that's gonna be a lot of fun. There's gonna be a ton of draft. I wouldn't be surprised to see like 6 or 8 of us, like all in a line. And once the last lap comes, you never know what's gonna happen. There's a you have that big run going into the bus stop, and once you like it's gonna be really interesting. You get a huge draft, and yeah, lots of straightaways. So that's gonna be a really close race, and yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun, I think. So yeah, that's I'm looking forward to that for sure.
Well, congratulations for this one then. Well done for this. We'll see you next week, and good luck.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys, and hopefully see you guys next week.
Let's see how Neil's doing then after what a evening he's had. Neil, you got it working in the end, and you got 4th.
Yeah, a bit time as well. It was just a wee firewall issue. SimCube software that was having, so yeah, managed to get that rebooted and get out and do a few laps in race 1, and then I worked my way through to P4 in race 2.
Yeah, you did well in the race 2 to get P4 in the end. What was it, P15 to P4? How did you manage to get through all of that?
I literally have no idea. For once, Costa actually managed to drag me off the start. Usually I jump him off the start by a couple of rows, but he managed to get a better start than me this time. You know, gap, I always got to go for it, and then Costa went for it, so I had no choice but to go down the outside on the grass. So I made up a few positions by doing that, luckily, because if we were any tighter, there would have been a big pile up at the back.
Well, you did well to end up getting P4. Next week's Watkins Glen on the Cup layout. Had any history of that circuit, or?
Yeah, I raced the WTCS there earlier in the season, but that was in Elantra. So yeah, I know what I need to do for the Veloster. Speak to a couple of people and see if they can point me in the right direction, what base setup to start with. Get the car trimmed out and then I get that straight line speed, because it's not going to be easy. I think Brandon's going to be fast round there. Hopefully we see the graph in that back for that one as well. So
Yeah, hopefully so. Right. Well, congratulations on getting everything sorted and working for today. Well done on your P4 in the end. Good luck next week.
cheers, buddy. I'll see you next week.
Yeah. Kevin.
Yeah, buddy.
What an event you had today. P6 in the end.
Yeah, I'd just like to apologise to Neil there. We had a little bump and scrape, but I went in tight. Lost it a little bit and then kind of went wide and nudged him, but he went past me and just eased off, and we had a little battle there for a little bit. It was good, man. It was good racing there.
Yeah, you did well. Reverse grid, you had a good little race with Peter as well, but managed to hold on to P6. Are you looking forward to next week at Watkins Glen?
Yeah, I'm looking for like Watkins favourite tracks. I don't know what I'm like in this particular.
Yeah, it should be a good one. A few less corners, but a lot of straights and a lot of drafting next week.
Oh yeah. There was some good racing today, man. There's some. I was in front. I can't remember who it was. He looked like he went into the pits, and all of a sudden he did a Superman into one of the cars. I don't know who it was. Took him out, and then it was a bit hectic, but it was some really good, terrible racing. But while I'm driving and you're seeing it happen, it was really good. So imagine what it's going to be looking like. So I'll be watching that tonight at work.
Yeah, well, congratulations on your P6. Good luck for next week.
But catch up soon, mate.
Yeah. Right then. That's it from, I think, all the drivers. I think that should be it. Yeah, it looks like it is. Right then. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Hope everyone enjoyed. It's been great here today for Round the Break. We'll see you next week for round number 9 at... Oh, God, I've forgotten. It's Watkins Glen. I've said it enough times. It's Watkins Glen. We'll see you next week.